Hello, children of class 11th. Here we have this today's poem called Childhood. Today we are going to discuss about the poem called Childhood by Marcus Nettin. The poem is written by Marcus Nettin. So gradually we will move with it and we will see that what happens in this poem actually. So this poem is all about a child, okay, who is having so much questions in his mind. His mind is not clear that what stage of life he is, whether he is actually a child or he is a grown up. This happens with all of us, especially with the teenagers, because there are occasions when they are told by their parents, by the teachers, and by the people around them that they are grown up. And there are occasions they say that you are still small. So this is poem is about a child, the child who is in dilemma, the child one who is in confusion. So let's talk about this poem further. That is called the childhood. Okay. So let's go ahead. What it says. This is the poem which is about what is the childhood and what is adulthood. Okay. And you are at what stage? Okay. Childhood, it's a stage of the life, and then you grow up a little bit. You goes into the adulthood, like your teenage, and what are at what stage? You are at what stage actually? So you are at a teenage stage. Let's go ahead. So now, in this poem, the poet is in dilemma. Okay, and what is this dilemma is here? The dilemma is the confusion as to where his childhood has disappeared. Okay, where his childhood has gone. He is not sure at what stage he should make the demarcation. The word here used is demarcation, as you can see, right? Like as you can see, this word here I show you. This word, demarcation, right? And what is this demarcation? It is demarcation means limit. Okay, limit or to set boundary for something. This is what a demarcation is. Okay, so he's not sure that at what stage of life the child is. He should make the demarcation. Okay, and here are some comparisons given here. But let's see that what happened with us in the childhood and adulthood. So it's given here. The childhood is very, very innocence. On the other hand, it's adulthood. It's a kind of hypocrisy. Childhood can be seen on an infant's face. Okay, and in adulthood we can see individuality on it. Okay, in childhood it is very, very loving, and in adulthood it becomes rationalism. Okay, in childhood dependent on the adults, and in adulthood the person become independent. Okay, so this is actually what the poem is. Okay, so the very first line of the poem, which is a question, and this question is asked by a child. Okay, or I can say in this poem by the poet. Okay, the poet says, "Where did my childhood go? Was it the day I ceased to be 11?" Okay, now what is the meaning of the ceased here? Ceased means stopped. Okay, as you can see, this word here it is mentioned ceased. Okay, the ceased is what? Ceased means stop something. Okay, so when it the day I ceased to be 11, or was it the time I realized that hell and heaven could not be found in geography, and therefore could not be what that the day? Okay. So the child is asking the question that when did my childhood go? Now, which the narrator is asking the question that when did my childhood go? It was the time when he became 11 years old, or was it the time when he started realizing that what the hell and heaven is? Okay, or the time when he could not be found, hell and heaven could not be found in the geography books. The time when he realized that everybody says that there is a hell, there is a heaven, but they are not located in any of the geography book. So when the poet has started realizing this thing, so this was the time when he feel like the childhood is gone. Okay? And therefore could not be was that the day. Okay, this is what the poet is saying here. Now further, the poet says, When did my childhood go? Was it the time I realized that adults were good not? All they seemed to be. They talked of love and preached of love, but did not act so lovingly. Was that the day? Now, here in the second paragraph, okay, poet is saying that when did my childhood go? When it has gone away from me? Then he's giving answer. What the answer in answer it is mentioned that was it the time I realized that adults were not all they seemed to be. It means that adult people they try to pretend what they are not. Okay, it means they pretend something and they do something. Who is they here means the adult people. And the next line is saying they talked of love and preached of love. The time when the adult they talked of love, okay, and preached of love, but did not act so lovingly. They only talk about love, but actually they do not act lovingly. Was that the day? The poet is saying, was that the day my childhood has gone? If you look further here, the poet is saying, next paragraph, when did my childhood go? Was it when I found my mind was really mine? Okay. What does it mean? What is the meaning of this line? I found my mind was really mine. See this line here. Okay. I found my mind was really mine. It means the author has its own way of thinking. Okay. What the author has, the author has its own way of thinking. To which, now further saying, to use whichever way I choose. Okay. Producing thoughts that were not those of other people. Okay. But my own thought and mine alone was that the day. So here in this paragraph, third paragraph, what the poet is saying, that my childhood was lost. It was the day maybe when I have started thinking of my own thoughts instead of being dependent on the thoughts of the other people. Was it when I found my mind was really mine, to use whichever way I choose, and miss, so I can think freely whichever way I choose, producing thoughts that were not those. Means that Miss Poet is saying that he was thinking those thoughts which were not the thoughts of other people, but my own. Here it is mentioned, but my own, right? But my own. But my own what? The own thoughts. Okay. The poet is saying that, but it was my own thought. Okay. Was that the day I lost my childhood? And now in the last paragraph, what the poet is saying here it is, where did my childhood go? It went to some forgotten place that's hidden in an infant's face. That's all I know. What is saying that it stands for the childhood. He's saying that the childhood went to some forgotten place. Okay, and now what is the forgotten place here, where nobody knows where it has gone? What does it mean by this? Okay, nobody knows where. What the poet is saying, that nobody knows where his childhood has gone, and that's hidden in an infant's face. Okay, and that's means what is the that's here? The that's stand here for the childhood. The childhood is hidden in an infant's face. Okay, in the face of a small child. That's all I know. Is what the poet is saying. This is the only thing I know about my childhood. Let's see ahead what this all is about. Now here, the poet is in dilemma. Now, and what is dilemma or dilemma? It's difficult circumstances or situation. Okay, when it becomes difficult for someone to make a decision or a situation about, okay, any situation, circumstances, etc. So, the poet is thinking that when did he lose his childhood? Was it at 11 years old when he was? Or when he became aware that heaven and hell cannot be found in the geography books? Okay. And so concluded that they do not exist And when he came to know that there is no heaven and no hell, so this may be the time when the poet thinks that he has lost his childhood. Now, further, when did his childhood go? When he realized that adults were hypocrites. Now, what is the meaning of this word called hypocrites here, right? See, I show you this word here. That is called hypocrites, right? So, the meaning of hypocrites means the someone who pretends to hold beliefs or whose actions are not consistent with their belief. Someone who shows that he is having certain beliefs, but his actions are not at all matching with the belief of the person, that the person is called hypocrite. And if I give you a new word for that hypocrite, so that is called flip flopper. FLIP FLOPER. Okay, FLIP. If I can write on the screen, flip flopper. Okay, this could be a new word for this, called hypocrites. Okay, so they advised, means the adult people, they advise other to be loving, but they themselves were hardly affectionate. They adult, they believe in giving advice of being loving and kind to others, but they themselves do not follow that. So the author is saying, was this the time when I realized this difference? Was this the time when I lost my childhood? Further, the poet says, when did the poet lose his childhood? Was it when he realized that he was the master of his mind? Okay, or means he master of his mind means he started thinking his own thoughts. Okay, instead of working on the thoughts and ideas of other people, but as we grow with the time, we start utilizing our own brain. We start listening to our brain and heart. So the poet is saying, was that the time I have lost my childhood? Okay, and he started making his own decision. So was that the time when he started making his own decision? Was that the time he has lost his childhood? Is what the poet is saying. Let's see ahead. And sense of individuality dawned on him. Okay, this meant the time when he became like, as you grow up, the sense of individuality dawned on him means the individuality has covered him. Okay, because when you are a child, so you are very innocent, you are very, very loving, but as you grow up, so that maturity things come. Okay, sense of individuality come in that. Now father is saying, where did the poet's childhood disappear? To some forgotten place? Is it disappeared in some forgotten place, hidden in an infant's face? Okay, or it is hidden in an infant's face, INFANTS, infants, right? Infant in the sense of a small child or a baby, right? Okay, is this where the childhood is? There, lost. Now look at the theme of this. Okay, outlines the difference between childhood and adulthood. This is one of the themes. This poem is differentiating between childhood and adulthood. Okay, this is the one thing. Second thing, the childhood is a stage that follows infancy. Okay, and adulthood is the stage that follows childhood. Okay, means first, what does it mean here? The first we are infant. When we are infant means very little baby, and then it comes the childhood period slowly, and then the childhood changes to adulthood. Okay, and here I have a similar poem. Okay, that is about a child forgotten, a childhood lost, a childhood forgotten, a childhood lost by Danny B. Okay, this is also a small interesting poem is there, that a childhood forgotten, a childhood lost. I can't remember skipping rocks on the pond. My childhood's forgotten, my childhood lost. Going to the lake, sitting on the beach, playing with friends, or dancing in the street. I can't remember the crash in the fog. My childhood was forgotten. My childhood was forgotten. I was lost. And here is something for your self-assessment. Okay, this is what you can do it. So identify the stanzas that talk of individuality, rationalism, and hypocrisy. Okay, and what did the child observe in the behavior of adult? Okay, so this all self-assessment you will be doing by your own. Okay, and where can the poet find his childhood? Okay.